the mission of the Council for Watershed Health, which is to advance the health and sustainability of our region's watersheds, rivers, and habitats, both in natural areas and urban neighborhoods. We do this through science-based research, education, and inclusive stakeholder engagement.
And I do want to applaud all of you that are reaching out to community groups and including them in your project processes. It takes a lot of effort to do that, and a lot of coordination and communication is really key for that. It's not an easy process, and we're hoping that we can learn from our panelists and from each other how to make it a successful process, and then share those lessons learned as well.
A lot of local pride came out of this watershed tour as people start to understand that, yes, we really do have wild rivers, and yes, this local water is a fundamental source of our drinking water. All our organizations through Our Water LA really fought hard to make sure that the disadvantaged communities and equity measures were built into that measure. But then it just doesn't stop with the policy being created. Now that the projects are starting to be implemented, everyone needs to be there every step of the way to make sure that actually happens.
One of the things that I think is really critical, again, is you're thinking about a 30-acre site, you're thinking about community engagement, and then also we're thinking about how to really authentically represent the community's needs with this project. Is not just thinking about the project site itself, but thinking beyond that, thinking really holistically about how we can support residents. The approach to this work is really about advocacy. I think we all come to our work at TPL from a place of, yes, parks and open space, but also how can parks and open space really serve to support the community beyond kind of the public health benefits that we recognize very clearly are related to parks. So the biggest concern is not specific to the urban orchard, it's in any park project that we work on, is safety. You know, there's naturally a fear of change, and I think when you take a site like the urban orchard that's been vacant forever, people are scared to see what's going to happen there. We have found on multiple projects, people, I think, sort of immediately understand the benefit of trees. It's much more tangible than I think stormwater management, right? It's easier to make a connection to it. And so that was one of the early ways that we started talking with folks about the urban orchard. What kind of fruit trees do you want in your community, right? And from there, we were sort of able to expand onto the wetland, native fish, native plants, those sorts of things.
So our center, the Center for Urban Resilience, we use our science really to produce ecology for cities, which is a way of thinking about doing science in service to the community that you're researching. It's called use-inspired research, really what is going on in the community, what are the questions the community has, and how can we use sound data to help inform decision-making. And you can see in this survey, basically every single one of these choices or benefits of trees, but those benefits are then tied into a spatially available variable, right? So there's data behind it that then we can use to overlay on the landscape. So we use the possible tree canopy as the basis, then we overlay the community priority, it's on top. We then produce a priority map, and that's really based on the input of those who came to the meeting, those who were engaged by tree people outside of the meeting and other groups. And now the city has this guide of where they can start planting trees once they begin, based on community input.
When we're doing community engagement around these projects, we need to listen first, second, third, fourth, fifth. I mean, it needs to be an ongoing and iterative process. Listening with the intention to, come from a place of not knowing anything. Even if we've spent time in the community, I think it's really important to come with no assumptions about what they want or need, and start by just hearing what the needs are in the community, even if our project isn't going to meet those. This image, Western redbud, only grows to 20 feet tall at its mature size. Jacaranda 50 feet, California sycamore 80 feet. But the benefits that they provide are exponential, and yet they cost me the same amount to plant. They all come in a 15-gallon, they all need 3 to 7 years of establishment care. We really need to be investing in opening up more spaces and having adequate soil volumes for large stature species. And then there are other criteria that come into play when we pick trees, but try and find more spaces for trees that will be big at their mature size.
We're looking at these different intersections at the neighborhoods level as not acting independently of one another, right? These dimensions interrelate. So when we engage communities, we should, oftentimes it's been my experience on the environmental side, where we're looking at it from park or a different silo of having a green space or access to nature or a water infrastructure project. But oftentimes we miss this opportunity of looking at that interrelatedness.
To kind of bring up too is this COVID has really upended so many things, right? Not only in our personal lives and our work, but it's a way that we approach things like land use or urban planning. In the past, we would say, let's build cities and urban areas as dense as possible. And yet now we're stepping back a little bit and saying, well, densification may not be a bad thing. We need to, prevent sprawl, but perhaps we should be building in opportunities for open space. Those parks seem to be lifesavers right now during the time of COVID. Bring that back into the discussion of housing. Let's bring that back into the discussion of community planning, community development. So what is our voice? What is our message and all of that? What is Green Infrastructure's message as we start to re-examine how we plan out our urban areas?